Welcome to PMSR. Today, I've got 5 stories about the small, unexpected moments that completely shifted the game. Things people did without even realizing it. Let's go. Maya was a junior architect at a firm that took itself way too seriously. Everyone walked around in designer suits, spoke in corporate buzzwords, and acted like designing office buildings was saving lives. She tried to fit in for the first 6 months. Professional, polished, boring. Then, one Thursday, she got caught in the rain on her way to work, completely drenched. Her carefully straightened hair frizzed into its natural curls, and she didn't have time to fix it before the morning meeting with the senior partners. She walked into that conference room looking like she'd just survived a hurricane. Laptop under one arm, coffee in the other hand, curls everywhere. She dropped into her chair and said, "Sorry, the weather had other plans for me today." James, one of the senior partners, looked up from his tablet. He'd barely noticed her in 6 months. Clean, quiet, forgettable. But something about seeing her like this, completely unbothered by being a mess, made him actually see her for the first time. It wasn't the curls, though they looked incredible. It wasn't even that she was pretty, which he suddenly realized she was. It was the fact that she didn't apologize again, didn't try to explain herself or smooth down her hair nervously. She just opened her laptop and got to work like nothing happened. After the meeting, he found reasons to stop by her desk, asked her opinion on projects he'd never asked her about before, started actually listening when she spoke in meetings instead of checking his phone. Maya had no idea what changed. She just figured he was finally noticing her work. She kept showing up as herself, wore her hair natural more often, laughed at things that were actually funny instead of forcing corporate chuckles, pushed back on bad ideas instead of staying quiet. 3 months later, James asked her to dinner, not a work dinner, an actual date. She was confused. "I thought you didn't even know I existed." He smiled. "I didn't. Not until you showed up to that meeting looking like you'd just walked through a storm and didn't give a damn what anyone thought about it. That's when I actually saw you." She'd been trying so hard to be what she thought he wanted. Turns out, what got his attention was the moment she stopped trying at all. Okay, next one. Derek was a personal trainer at an upscale gym. Confident, fit, used to women making moves on him. He had a type. Assertive, direct, knew what they wanted. The kind who'd walk right up and ask him out. Then Sophie started training there. She was recovering from a knee injury, working with the physical therapist, taking it slow. She never looked at him the way other clients did. Never tried to get his attention. She'd come in, do her exercises, and leave. One day, he was putting away equipment near where she was doing her PT routine. She was struggling with a resistance band exercise, clearly frustrated with herself. He watched her try 3 times, fail, then sit down on the mat and just laugh at herself. Not a bitter laugh. A genuine, "Wow, I really suck at this" laugh. She looked up, saw him watching, and said, "I swear I used to be coordinated. Now I can't even fight a rubber band." Something about that moment got him. The way she could be frustrated and amused at the same time. The way she didn't perform the struggle or make it dramatic. She just acknowledged it and kept going. He started timing his sessions to be near her workout times, would offer small tips, just friendly advice. She'd thank him, try the adjustment, and move on with her day. No lingering, no flirting, no playing coy. It drove him crazy. Women usually tried to extend conversations with him, made excuses to ask questions. Sophie treated him like a helpful coworker and nothing more. 6 weeks later, he finally worked up the nerve to ask her to coffee. She looked genuinely surprised. Really? I figured you were just being nice because it's your job. I haven't been able to stop thinking about you since the day you laughed at that resistance band. She blinked. That's the most random thing I've ever heard. But she said yes. And later she told him that was the first time a guy had been interested in her for something other than what she was trying to project. He fell for her in a moment when she wasn't trying to be attractive at all, just human. All right, this next one gets intense. Vanessa was a litigation attorney. Sharp, intimidating, always 3 steps ahead in every conversation. She'd built her career on being unshakable, ice queen in the courtroom, perfect poker face in negotiations. She met Nathan at a charity gala. He was a financial consultant, equally polished, equally careful with his image. They talked, exchanged numbers, started dating. Everything was smooth, controlled, adult. 3 months in, they were at his place watching a documentary about space exploration. Some segment came on about the Mars rover, and Vanessa just started talking. Not her usual measured attorney voice. She got genuinely excited, explaining why the engineering was brilliant, geeking out over the problem solving, talking with her hands in a way she never did. Nathan was staring at her. She caught it mid-sentence. "What?" "I've never seen you like this." She felt embarrassed, started to pull back into her usual composure. "Sorry, I know it's nerdy, I just—" "Don't." He moved closer. "Don't do that. Don't go back to the version of you that's always performing." She didn't know what to say. She'd been so careful to be the right amount of impressive, the right amount of interesting, the right amount of available. She didn't realize she'd been performing at all. "I liked what I just saw. The real you getting excited about something, not the version you think I want to see." That moment changed everything between them. She started letting him see the parts of herself she usually kept locked down, the random interests, the moments of genuine emotion, the things that didn't fit her professional image. And he fell deeper for every single one. She'd spent years thinking her power came from control. Turned out, what made her irresistible was the moment she forgot to be in control at all. Story 4 is where this gets really good. Liam was a software developer. Quiet, kept to himself, dated occasionally but never seriously. He had a routine: work, gym, home. Simple. Then, his company hired Rachel as a project manager. She was everything he usually avoided: loud, opinionated, always laughing too hard at things. She ran meetings like a coach giving pep talks. He found it exhausting. One late night, they were the only 2 left in the office working on a deadline. Rachel's energy was finally flagging. She was at her desk, frustrated, staring at a problem that wasn't solving itself. Liam walked by to grab coffee and heard her muttering to herself. Not complaining, just talking through the problem out loud, trying different angles, arguing with her own logic. He paused, listened. She had no idea he was there. Her voice was completely different. Thoughtful, focused. None of the performance energy she usually had, just raw, problem-solving, thinking out loud, in a way that was almost intimate to witness. He knocked lightly on her doorframe. She jumped, startled. "How long have you been standing there?" "Long enough to hear you solve that budget issue you were stuck on." She laughed, but it was different from her usual laugh. Quieter, a little self-conscious. Yeah, I think out loud when no one's around. Bad habit. It's not bad. He meant it. You're actually really good at this when you're not trying to make everyone feel good about the work. Something shifted in her expression, like he'd seen something she didn't show people. They started staying late together more often, not planning it, just naturally gravitating to the same work hours. She stopped performing around him, let him see the quieter, more focused version of herself. 2 months later, she asked him, "When did you stop finding me annoying?" "The night I heard you thinking out loud. When you forgot I existed and just let yourself work through a problem. That's when I realized you were actually brilliant." She'd been trying so hard to be the energetic, motivational team player. What got him was the moment she forgot anyone was watching and just let herself think. Last one. This is my favorite. Christina was a graphic designer who freelanced from coffee shops. She had a spot she loved, went there almost every day. Same table, same order, same routine. There was a guy who came in most mornings too. Always ordered black coffee, always sat in the corner with a book. They'd exchanged polite nods for months, but never spoke. One Tuesday, Christina's laptop died mid-project, just completely shut down. She had a client presentation in 2 hours, and everything was on that computer. She said shit loud enough that half the coffee shop heard it. Then she just put her head down on the table and started laughing. Not panic laughter, defeated laughter. The kind that happens when things are so bad, all you can do is laugh. The guy with the book walked over. "Are you okay?" She lifted her head. "My laptop just died. I have a presentation in 2 hours, and I'm sitting here laughing about it. So no, probably not okay." He smiled. "That's actually a pretty healthy response." "Is it?" She was still laughing a little. "I feel insane." You could be screaming or crying or throwing things. Laughing means you've accepted that it's out of your control. That's emotionally intelligent. She looked at him, really looked at him for the first time. "Are you a therapist or something?" "Psychologist? Yeah. And I have a laptop in my car if you need to borrow it for your presentation." He helped her recover her files, walked her through fixing what she could, and waited while she prepped. She made her presentation on time. The next day, she came back to the coffee shop and sat at his table instead of hers. "I wanted to thank you again." "You already did. 3 times yesterday." "I know, but I also wanted to say that watching myself have a complete meltdown in public and then laugh about it is probably the most attractive thing I've ever done, based on your reaction." He laughed. "It was pretty attractive, yeah. Not the meltdown. The fact that you could find humor in it instead of falling apart." They started talking every morning, real conversations, not small talk. He told her later that he noticed her for months but never approached her because she always seemed so focused, so put together. The moment she fell apart and handled it with grace, that's when he knew he wanted to know her. She'd been performing competence every single day. What got his attention was the day everything went wrong and she just laughed at the chaos. If you're enjoying these, hit subscribe to PMSR. More coming. What all these stories have in common is this. People spend so much energy trying to be attractive, trying to project the right image, trying to seem impressive or desirable. And then the thing that actually draws someone in is the moment they stop performing, the moment they're just real. It's never what you think it'll be. It's the laugh when things fall apart, the excitement about something random, the moment you forget to be careful, the version of you that exists when you think no one's watching. That's the version worth knowing. And that's usually the version that changes everything. 5 stories. 1 lesson. Stop performing. The real you is more interesting than whatever you think people want to see. Which story hit you hardest? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe to PMSR for more. See you next time.